usually trade the New York session, and when I'm not trading, I am at the gym or I am playing golf, and pretty much nothing else. Low around break even for 2 years. The evaluation trading time showed like 362 days.
When you turned 18, you bought your M4 competition cash. What shifted that you made 200,000 euros across 18 months?
I started.
What is up, guys? Welcome to my first ever student interview. This is with Airon. Maybe you want to introduce yourself first before we get to the questions.
Okay, so I'm Airon. I'm right now 18 years old. I'm from Estonia, and I've been trading since 2023. And I started with the Flex mentorship as my first mentor.
So the first question is, who is Airon? Right, so you're 18 from Estonia. Most people watching this have never heard of a founder trader coming from Estonia. You know, Estonia is a very low-key country.
Yeah,
Give us the
it looks.
picture. What does your actual day-to-day life look like?
So it was before a lot different, but right now I just usually trade the New York session, and when I'm not trading, I am at the gym or I am playing golf, and pretty much nothing else. It's summer, so you know.
That makes sense. So you started trading at 15 or 16 as a minor. Most people who find trading are adults with jobs and bills. What was
Yeah.
going through your head at that age, and why did you start trading?
So I wanted to do something different. I realized from a young age that school isn't really the thing for me. I don't know, like usual systems. Nowadays we call it matrix, and I wanted to do something different as opposed to what my generation usually does.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you said you floated break even for almost 2 years. Most traders
Yeah.
blow up and quit, or they chase losses during that period. How did you stay in the game when nothing was working and you weren't making any money or seeing any result?
That's a good question, because when you start trading, 90% of the time you should blow accounts. But I'm not really sure how did I manage to do that. My just one evaluation, like blow around break even for 2 years. I even remember when I passed it, the evaluation trading time showed like 362 days, if I'm correct. So I don't know. I didn't start on the evaluations before I felt confident on the demo accounts. That's probably why I stayed on the demo a long time. So probably that's the main reason why this happened.
So that's crazy though. 362 days on eval. I could never do that shit.
Yeah,
That's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
crazy consistency. Obviously, a question based off that, as you mentioned, a month where you didn't win a single trade. One whole month. What was going through your head during that time? You haven't won in a month, and why didn't you quit?
I saw some results before, so I knew I could do it again. It wasn't that deep, but yeah, a month. It was a long time. I don't know how it could even happen. I think I just thought in my head that it's just part of the game. You can't win every day or even for a month. That's probably why.
Yeah,
Never had
that's
the idea of quitting though. That's crazy.
That's good though. That's really good. Like that shows that even at a young age, you can be really mature trading wise. You don't have to
Yeah.
be old or anything to just realize that trading isn't always winning. It's just mathematically winning across several trades, right? Now,
That's
obviously,
true.
most traders during a losing streak, they either revenge trade or they do all those bad habits that we talk about all the time, like blowing counts or shredding strategies. What stopped you from doing any of those and just keep being consistent and doing the same thing again?
Probably you need to fix your psychology. The hardest part about trading, I wouldn't say it's psychology, it's the skill itself. But if you consistently blow accounts after like one red day, you gamble on NFP because you lost yesterday, I would say that's just retardation.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree. I
I
think
can
it's
understand when you're like 15 and trading, but if you're like 25-year-old grown man blowing accounts after one red day, I will just, I'd have some questions.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, psychology is a hard topic. I don't think really depends on age. It really depends on who you are as a person. Obviously, everyone has different factors in their life. Some people have to make money. Some people are just
Absolutely.
chilling and stuff like that, which is also a very important thing. Obviously, after 2 years of floating break even and having no wins, what actually changed for you? You didn't trade strategy. You didn't change the market. What shifted that you made 200,000 euros across 18 months, which is a year and a half?
I started backtesting a lot. When you ran the old live sessions in the Discord, you always mentioned how you backtested like 18 hours a day in your olden times. So I just implemented the same shit for me. I spent like almost half a day, like 8 hours straight, like no food, no nothing. I'm just really locked in onto the backtesting and seeing what really works. I think the backtesting thing, that's what's changed me probably most.
Yeah, backtesting also helped me really much. I remember those days I was going crazy. Now, obviously, since you said that I'm the only guy you ever took a mentorship from, right? What was the best thing that you learned from me, or what did learning from me from the very start give you the most advantage compared to people who have to figure that alone?
So being in a mentorship with you is probably what gave me a clear directions where to start from and what to do next. Because if you don't have a mentor, figuring things out for yourself can take a lot more time than just getting someone who knows the things. I think it works not only in trading, but the same, idea works in pretty much everything, not just markets. So probably directions, where to go from the start. That's probably the most thing I got from there.
Obviously, since you have 200,000 plus payouts over 18 months, how was that like? Did you get consistent payouts, or did you have big payouts who are just 1 to 3, or did you actually have consistent payouts regarding those 18 months?
Yeah, so I think the markets have changed a lot, but one thing I can say is they were pretty consistent. But on those really big payouts, 5-figure payouts, I mean, it's obvious that I didn't risk 1%, right? So they have been pretty consistent with like one losing month between them, but I wouldn't say that I was risking 1% every trade, but pretty much like that.
So as a guy who's this young, how do you actually feel that, like, obviously sometimes I even see this in myself, we have really good results, but we never really realize the results because we always want to push forward more. But if you compare yourself to the regular 18-year-old living in Estonia, you can realize that you are far more ahead than them. So how do you feel, or do you ever think about the situation, or are you like just pushing forward every time and not looking back?
So yes, I'm pretty much pushing forward. I don't know, even talk to people who aren't that locked in, and I know some Estonian people that at my age ahead of me. So pretty much, I never look back, and I just always push forward because excellence is what strives me.
Exactly. I think your circle is also very important, especially at this age if you're going to school and stuff. I think it's a very different mindset compared to people who are just in school trying to
Yeah,
finish their college or
100%.
whatever. And you're just making like 10, 20, whatever K a month. It's just a very different mindset and very different place. Now, obviously, when you turned 18, you bought your M4 competition cash. Now, besides the money feeling, or besides making the money, what feeling did this give you? Did this give you an accomplishment feeling? Was it a dream that came true? How did it feel for you?
Well, not necessarily a dream. Let's say just a car came up on the marketplace that me and one of my very good friends saw, so that we can turn into a pretty big profit. And since I've always wanted the M4 competition, it have been my dream car since I was like 12. So, the timing just really mattered up. So that's why I bought it. That's just some very good things lined up for me in order to buy it.
Sometimes the universe just gives you a sign when you are at the right place at the right time. You get an
100%.
opportunity and you just have to pull the trigger, and
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what you did right here, which is good. Now, obviously, since you said you spend 15 minutes a day on the charts now, set your alerts, you check London, you check New York session. Most traders, they think the longer you are on the charts, like even I have this, like sometimes I'm telling people I'm trading, they're like, are you 5 to 6 hours on your charts? I'm like, no, it's like 30 minutes max, and they're like, don't you make less money then? I'm like, no, you make more money like doing less work. What is that logic for you? Like, when did you understand that the less you trade, the more you actually make realistically?
So I understood it when I still got mentoring from you, and you told me that, which is funny. And then soon after, I saw from my own market conditions and my own accounts that what you said was in fact true. So that's probably where it came from. And who wants to spend 5 hours on a chart just checking the markets every minute? I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. So
Yeah, I think
that's fine.
your head would go crazy, especially if you're in the
Yeah,
1 minute,
100%.
you're
Yeah.
gonna go crazy. Now, obviously, you made a lot of payouts, but you moved from prop firms, personal accounts mostly, like majority of your trading comes from personal accounts. That's a shift most traders don't make. Even I don't make a fully move to personal compared to props. Why did you make that decision? Like, what's the logic behind it?
Back in the days, like 1 year ago, the gold supply and demand was working really well, and you could even basically put a limit on the demand or the supply and just sell it off them. So I saw a pretty big potential, upon seeing this on the prop firm accounts, and that when I realized that it's going to, change sooner or after. Not like a lot, but you could still see the RR decrease, and then I made a quick personal account and tried to flipping it, risking a bit more than 1%, and that's really where I went it off, and I just never really looked back on prop firms because I love the no payout denials and daily payouts on my personal account.
Yeah, I think, especially compared to 2 years ago, prop firms really changed, especially the CFD space. And
Yeah,
obviously, the freedom of personal accounts you'll never have on a prop firm account. However, I will say the freedom sometimes is a danger. Some people, they will overtrade, overgamble, whatever.
yeah,
And on a live account, you can overtrade and overgamble as much as you want. With a prop firm, you have a max loss limit, you have a daily loss limit, you have to do consistency, whatever. So So at some point, prop firms do teach you some risk management, obviously, but
But
CFD is just.
that's definitely true.
But I would say CFD is just really bad, especially if you get payout denied a couple times. Like I have over $100,000 in payouts denied, and it does suck because essentially it's your $100,000 that they took from you because you're supposed to get paid. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. So obviously, Airon's move was going personal, which is smart, right? You shouldn't really like you get your payout denied, but you shouldn't cry. You should just find a solution because people who find solutions are the ones
Exactly.
who
Yeah.
have success. So he found his solution, I found my solution. I went to futures. That
Mm-hmm.
easy. Now, obviously, someone watching this right now and that has been trading for 2 years, they've had some results. They're not broke, but they're not where they want to be, or they haven't had multiple payouts, 5-figure months, and whatever. They keep making the same mistakes. What do they need to hear from you to make that change?
The same mistakes probably open their eyes. It's just really subject to the persons what are they trading, but they gotta reflect much because if the same issues, they should be easy to fix.
Like a lot of people know what their issues are, but they just can't get to the reality. But sooner or later, you have to face your mistakes. That's
Yeah,
when you will turn profitable. The less mistakes you make, the more you win. That's how simple it is.
yeah.
So, I mean, you guys hearing from 18-year-old, I don't have to say shit. 18-year-old is cooking you guys. So, with that said, you said gut feeling becomes a thing. Like once you have enough experience, most people are told to ignore gut feeling and just follow the system. How do you reconcile just those things, and how do you separate them?
No, that's probably the biggest lie ever told in the trading space. Strategy alone won't ever turn you profitable unless it's some crazy shit nobody knows about that and it's just so clear on this pathway. But the market experience is really what turns you profitable. You start to recognize a certain movement and you just know what happens next because it repeats again and again if you trade the same strategy, you know. So
Yeah, I would 100% agree to this. Even sometimes some people they text me, they're like, bro, I'm doing exactly what you're doing, but we're not taking the same trades. And at some point, there's just gut feeling and experience. You know, you have intuition in the market. Sometimes you can just feel that it's gonna drop from here
mm,
because you've seen it happen 1,000 times, the same setup. But
yeah,
you know,
exactly. If the flex people are watching this, like the flex supply and demand, they enter immediately after the candle closes on the change of character flip. But when you have big market experience in that strategy, you can, you know, sometimes feel inside you that that demand isn't strong enough to push once in the certain direction. So you can just you're better off waiting for a retest on the demand and then entering. That's the thing that comes from the market experience.
exactly, I agree with that. Now, you're 18, you have over 200,000 euros in payouts, you have a cash car, or you have two cars, by the way. He also has a Tesla model, something,
I am all
something.
three.
Yeah, he has,
That's where Estonia.
yeah. So he has two cars and you have personal capital. Now, what is next? Like, what are you building towards? What are your goals for the future? Let's say 1 to 2 years.
So I've fully moved on from CFD. I still trade futures times time, like weekly sometimes, but I really moved everything into options because it's very hard to explain for a beginner. I don't know how I'm going to say this, but there is a lot of more money made in options than normal trading. It's not exactly true, but the options are so complicated that I just can't explain all of this in the interview, and I like it a lot more.
Okay, so you're just trying to build your personal capital in options and just grow
Yeah.
that to, I don't know, 1 million, 2 million, couple million.
It might be worth to mention also that options have currently the highest volume. So if I'm trading options, we move all the other markets. So you'll be first to know if you know something jumps or dumps pretty much. It's just a fun fact though. It really won't change anything.
Yeah, no, no worries. Now, anyways, that's all the questions I had for Aaron. Hope you guys did, learn or take something from this interview because he's just 18 years old. When I was 18 years old, I was gooning, I was playing Fortnite, I was doing fuck all. Actually, that wasn't really true, but like I remember I wasn't doing shit, and I have a lot of people that I know at 18 years old that ain't doing shit. So maybe this should motivate you that this guy was at 15, 16 and started trading, and even at 16 years old he wasn't over trading, and you're maybe 30 years old watching this and you are fucking over trading. So this is your competition, a 15-year-old kid. Now, anyways, that was the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it,
Much love,
whatever.
guys.
That was it. I will see you guys in the next interview. Shout out to Aaron for hopping on with me, and yeah, that's it.